Hey everyone, if you drive your Toyota or Lexus product long enough, your inner splash liners are probably going to look like our GXs here. And I know what you're thinking, what inner splash liner? Well, there are a few nubs left here of the OEM ones. As you can see, here, here, and here, the bulk of what protects that inner engine compartment, the inner liner of the wheel well, is completely missing at this point. So today, what we're going to be doing is installing some new ones. A few companies that make these, but we're going to use Rad Rubber Designs. And this is a heavy-duty replacement set. They are resistant to UV, heat, gas, and oil. And it comes with the fasteners. For this particular model, we do not have any kind of a body lift on it or anything, but we do have KDSS. So let's open these up real quick. And before we can get these installed, we're gonna have to take one of these little tools here. You're gonna have to get those out because they're crispy. Those just pop out and you can just see, look how cracked. They just crumble. All right, and with all the OEM plugs pulled out and the remnants of the OEM inner splash liners, you're gonna look something completely bare like so. I had initially ordered from Amazon, and if you saw our video about the 100K service, you know just how horribly ill-fitting some cheap Amazon ones are. These are just slightly more expensive than those cheap Amazon ones. Paid $49 for these. They are super thick. Come with all the hardware. In addition to the hardware, you're also going to have some instructions which will show that the majority of your fasteners are going to be 5/16. On the strut tower, you will need a 1/4 inch, one on each side, and that gives you a pretty good explanation of how that works. Now, in addition to that, they do recommend using a product called fluid film to coat the liners before installing them. And although I didn't have any fluid film, I did decide to use something that I felt like would be appropriate to use in this case, but just be mindful of the fact that they do want you to treat them with fluid film before install. This fit is much better. Everything seems to be lining up pretty good. They say if there's any contact with any suspension component, you may have to just trim just a slight bit of excess off. After treating and leaving them in the sun to soften up for a bit, we're now ready to install. I didn't really have anything similar to fluid film, but what I did have was some excellent rubber treatment. This is great for weather stripping and anything else that's going to come in contact with a lot of water or anything like that. They actually are dried out pretty good. We're going to see what it's going to do. I think it'll be fine. Am I saying that you should do the same? No, not at all. It's not what I'm saying, but I did find something that I think will protect it pretty good, and that's what we're going to go with today because I don't feel like making a trip to town to go get some fluid film. So the worst thing it is maybe they don't hold up quite as long as they should, but I'll keep an eye on it. And as easy as the clips are to get out, if I need to take them back off at some point in time and then retreat them, it wouldn't be all that difficult to do. I also took the liberty of putting some metal lubrication that I have that's a real dry lubricant, and I put that around every area that's going to have contact between the rubber and the metal, and maybe that'll help prolong it as well. All right, guys, we are working on the passenger side rear. So this is the back of the vehicle. This is the front of the vehicle. We're on the back side of the tire here. Now, your box of goodies from these guys will have a big bunch of 5/16 push pins that I'm using here. Okay, and we'll start with that one. your rear driver and rear passenger, you're not going to be using anything but these big 5/16. Once your other 3 push pins have been installed, it's going to look something like this. You will have just a slight little bubble gap at the very rear portion of it. This is going to be completely normal, and your 2 bottommost push pins that enter the frame are going to be a little bit more difficult to install all the way, so you may want to have a little something to tap those fully closed. Driver side front. You will know the difference. It's obviously a different shape. It has 5 holes. We're going to be using 4 of these 5/16 push pins, and then 1 smaller. We'll use that smaller one. Will probably go in last. Let's get it over here and get this one installed. Oh, there. Okay, that makes total sense now. I missed that one. Couldn't see it. I was like, what is this going to attach to? There we go. Alrighty, now we're cooking. That's going to be the little one. We need the little one. That's where we're going to put our 1/4 inch. Where we're putting our 1/4 inch. Go. And then we got one more down here at the bottom, and a not so friendly place to get to. All right. At this point, you can go ahead and lock your pins. Now, before completely locking your pins down, you may want to adjust your liner ever so slightly here, and just again check to make sure that you do not have any impingement or rubbing on any suspension component. Let's start with this upper one here, and that's going to go there. All right. Now let's hit this small one that goes on the corner of the strut tower. Okay. Easy enough. Guys, if you map this out before you started, I promise you could probably be done in about 10 minutes. It's quite elementary. All right, these seem to be fairly easier to just work from the top down. So I'm gonna continue to do that. Go to the corners. Now, as we wrap up here, I'd just like to mention that after treating them, I did leave them in the sun for about probably 30 minutes, and they became way more pliable, and it was just a little easier to install the longer that they had been in the sun. And that looks a heck of a lot better than it did, and hopefully my treatment works as well as the fluid film, and we get a lot of long-term use out of them. But at this point, I would just suggest just make sure that all of your little connectors are pushed all the way in, and that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna go get that little tiny hammer and just pop those down all the way flat, and then I'll give you a good look at what we got going on here. Couldn't be happier. A few things of note, everything is included that you're going to need in there. You may need a trim removal tool, screwdriver, something to be able to get your old plugs, your little connectors out of the hole. Really, the only thing that might trip you up is just that KDSS bracketry. It tripped me up for a minute because I didn't realize it just wraps around it, and that was once I turned the splash guard the right way, it just lines right up and it goes. They include extra pins just in case you mess anything up. And I guess if you got in the pinch, if you salvage some of your OEM push pins, you could probably reuse those as well. I am very happy with the quality of the product. They look really, really good. We're going to go back to the vehicle here real quick. I'll just show you exactly what that's going to look like all installed and nice looking fresh. I've got protection now for everything just getting blasted up inside the engine compartment. And but yeah, I'm super happy. $50. Took about 2.5 weeks or so to get to me. They give you everything you need in the box to be able to do this job, and I couldn't be happier. This is about twice as much as the cheapest thing I could find on Amazon, but the quality is just like it's way, way better. Make sure you check out some of our other videos. We have got a full series now on GX, and we're getting this everything that we do with the GX. We're getting it up to spec, so it's going to be a lot of DIY things that need to be performed to get things caught up service-wise and to fix everything that's missing or broken. Stay tuned for that. Thank you so much. We'll see you later. You have a blessed day. All right, guys, and before we go, real quick, obviously this is my wife's ride currently, but they included a sticker. So we're going to have to put this sticker, but we're going to have to go stealth mode with it. So let's find a place. And guys, if you haven't done so already, please hit that subscribe button. We'll see you later.